Jesus Christ, it often calls them saints. In other words, Christians are the holy ones. God has saved us and called us to a holy life. 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 9a. We are set apart for God's service. What distinguishes us from the rest of humanity is that we were chosen and created to be holy. Ephesians chapter 1, verse 4, and chapter 4, verse 24. The Bible commands us to be what we are. You ought to live holy and godly lives. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 11b. Make every effort to be holy. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 14. For God did not call us to be impure, but to live a holy life. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 7. The reason we are called to be holy is because the God who called us is holy. Just as he who called you is holy, so be holy in all you do, for it is written, Be holy because I am holy. 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 15 to 16. What does it mean to be holy? First, a holy person talks about God's holiness, as Isaiah and Peter did. The holiness of God is part of the message of salvation. Therefore, it has an essential place in evangelism. A Presbyterian minister took a trip to Ukraine during the 1990s. He was so impressed with the Christian work being done among university students that he asked for their philosophy of ministry. A young woman named Masha said, "You must understand. We are not afraid to hurt them in order to show them that God is more holy than they think he is, and that they are more sinful." This approach to Christian witness shows profound respect for God's holiness. A holy person hates sin. Every sin is an assault on the holiness of God. Since God himself hates sin, Psalm 5, verse 5, so must we. The trouble with us is that, as James Montgomery Boyce writes, we do not naturally hate sin. In fact, the opposite is true. We generally love sin and are loath to part with it. But we must learn to hate sin, or else we will learn to hate God, who requires a holy life from those who are Christ's followers. To be holy is not only to hate sin, it is also to love holiness in all its forms. A holy person is not just someone who does certain things and doesn't do others. A saint approaches every part of life with reverence. A holy person loves God for his holiness. A good example is A.W. Tozer, who wrote an entire book on the holiness of God. In one of his other books, Tozer wrote, "I tell you this, I want God to be what God is, the impeccably holy, unapproachable, holy thing, the all-holy one. I want him to be and remain the holy. I want his heaven to be holy, and his throne to be holy. I don't want him to change or modify his requirements, even if it shuts me out. I want something holy left in the universe." Tozer's statement shows why a love for God's holiness is one of the best indicators of true Christianity. Holiness is one divine attribute that does not do us any good. As Joshua warned the children of Israel, "You are not able to serve the Lord. He is a holy God." Joshua chapter 24, verse 19. If we love God for his holiness, it shows that we love him for who he is in himself, rather than for what he does for us. Finally, a holy person praises God for his holiness. To do this, it helps to know one more thing about Isaiah's visit to God's holy throne. His experience was a historical event, but what Isaiah saw was not simply a past event. It is a present reality. The Apostle John had the same experience Isaiah had. He went to the throne room of Almighty God. Like Isaiah, he saw the Lord exalted on his heavenly throne. Around the throne he saw living creatures, each